You can't always see how many men a woman has been with, but sometimes you can feel it the moment she steps into your life. Not because of her past, but because of what that past did to her. Most men look at a beautiful woman and think they're starting fresh, but what they don't realize is that some women carry a history that doesn't show on their skin. It shows in their eyes, their energy, their emotional temperature. Some women have been touched many times, but rarely felt. And when you meet them, you're not meeting a blank page. You're meeting someone who has lived so many half-connections that real intimacy now feels impossible. And it starts with the very first thing you notice. 1. Her emotions don't reach you, no matter how close she stands. You can talk, flirt, laugh, even sit inches away from her, but there's a quiet distance that never disappears. She says the right words, she looks into your eyes, she plays the game perfectly, and yet, her warmth never arrives. It's like hugging someone who's physically there, but spiritually absent. That emptiness doesn't come from confidence, it comes from emotional fatigue. She's opened her heart too many times to men who never protected it, so now she doesn't open it at all. Instead of connection, she gives you performance. Instead of curiosity, she gives you patterns. Instead of softness, she gives you whatever remains after too many disappointments have carved out the middle of her heart. Most men mistake this numbness for independence. They think, she's so strong, so mysterious, she must have high standards. No, she's not mysterious, she's disconnected. She's not strong, she's guarded. And those walls weren't built for you. They were built because too many men before you took pieces of her she never got back. But what comes next is even more dangerous, because once intimacy stops feeling intimate, her entire view of connection shifts. 2. Intimacy feels casual to her, almost mechanical. If a woman has shared herself with too many men, something inside her changes. Touch stops being sacred. She stops treating connection as something deep. She treats it like something convenient. She talks about sex openly. She engages quickly. She doesn't blush, hesitate, or slow down the moment. It feels bold, but it's not boldness. It's desensitization. Her body remembers touch, but not meaning. Her mind remembers experiences, but not connection. And when you're with her, you feel it. That subtle hollowness, that sense that she's not fully present with you. You might think you're sharing a moment with her, but to her, it's just another repetition of a moment she's lived too many times to feel anything from. She calls it confidence. She calls it knowing what she wants. But deep down, it's just a heart that's been stretched thin and now refuses to attach. And this is only the beginning, because once intimacy becomes casual, something even more serious happens to her ability to love, commit, and connect. And in the next part, everything becomes clear. 3. She can't stay loyal for long. The more time you spend with her, the more you feel it. That quiet instability behind her smile. She can fall for you fast. She can kiss you like you're the only man in her world. But the moment the spark fades even slightly, her interest starts to evaporate. Women who have been with many men don't usually struggle with loyalty because they're bad people. They struggle because they've emotionally trained themselves not to attach. Every time she slept with someone and walked away, every time a situationship ended without closure, every time she bonded quickly and disconnected even faster, she taught her heart a dangerous pattern. Don't stay. Don't feel. Don't attach. Now, permanence feels suffocating. Commitment feels like pressure. A stable relationship feels like a cage she doesn't know how to live in. She craves novelty, dopamine, the rush of something new. So when a man treats her right, loves her sincerely, stays consistent, she doesn't feel safe. She feels bored. And the saddest part? She doesn't even realize she's doing it. There's always a new guy, a new start, a new connection right around the corner. Her life becomes a cycle. New spark, excitement, routine, detachment, escape. You can give her your best, but she can only give what her past has trained her to offer: temporary affection and temporary loyalty. 4. She's overly skilled at dealing with men. When you talk to her, it feels like she understands you better than anyone. She reacts at the perfect moment. She knows exactly when to act soft, when to go silent, when to tease, when to pull away. It seems natural, but it's not. It's repetition, reflex, experience burned into muscle memory. A woman who's been with many men becomes frighteningly good at handling male psychology. She has seen every type of man: the confident, the insecure, the romantic, the manipulative, the needy, the dominant. And through all those interactions, she learned techniques that feel like authenticity, but are actually emotional strategy. She mirrors your posture effortlessly. She reads your tone instantly. She knows what compliments hook you, what behaviors trigger you, what softness keeps you attached. To you, it feels magical. To her, it's instinct. You're not the first man she's had this dynamic with. You're simply the next. The scariest part? She doesn't even realize she's doing it anymore. It's automatic, programmed by repetition and survival. You think you're building something new, but you're walking into a script she has performed many times before. Her emotional responses aren't shaped by who you are, but by the ghosts of the men who came before you. And that's why many men feel drained around her, because she isn't connecting with you from her heart. She's interacting from habit. 5. She's addicted to male attention. You'll notice it before you even understand it. She needs male eyes on her the same way other people need oxygen. A woman who has been with many men often becomes dependent on constant external validation, because attention is the only place where she still feels alive. It's not love she wants, it's the rush of being desired. Without messages, compliments, reactions, or thirsty DMs, she feels empty, almost invisible. So she keeps the system alive. Seductive selfies, late-night stories, flirty replies with guys who mean nothing, leaving windows open with old hookups, keeping men around just in case. And here's the truth most men miss. She isn't loyal to you. She's loyal to the feeling of being wanted. She doesn't chase love. She chases attention. And when you finally give her peace, stability, loyalty, she calls it boring. Why? Because chaos is her comfort zone. Validation is her drug. And you're competing with every man who ever validated her before you. It's not about you. It's the way her past reshaped her identity. 6. Her friend circle mirrors her past. If you want to know who she really is, don't look at her Instagram. Look at her friends. Women who've slept with many men rarely keep friends who live calm, stable, traditional lifestyles. Their circle usually reflects their own patterns. Friends who glorify hot girl summer, girls who brag about flings, group chats full of male screenshots, friends who encourage her to keep her options open, girls who treat loyalty like a weakness, women who normalize sleeping around as empowerment. This isn't a coincidence, it's an ecosystem. When every friend around her treats men like disposable entertainment, she stops seeing relationships as something sacred and starts seeing them as a game. So when you date her, you aren't just dating her. You're dating her environment, her influences, her habits, her worldview. And this friend circle will sabotage you without even trying. They'll encourage her to flirt more. They'll gaslight her into thinking commitment is limiting. They'll celebrate every impulsive decision she makes. Because in their world, attention is currency, and men are disposable. And if all her friends live in that mindset, she will too, no matter how good you treat her.
7. She speaks about men with bitterness or arrogance. Listen closely. Her words reveal her past faster than anything else. A woman who has been with many men often carries a shadow of emotional exhaustion. Too many disappointments, too many betrayals, too many temporary connections that never became real. Instead of healing, she builds armor. So she says things like, "All men are the same. I don't need anyone. Relationships are a joke. Men are only good for one thing. I can't be played." This isn't confidence, it's scar tissue. She's not strong, she's tired. Burnout disguised as superiority. Pain disguised as power. Fear disguised as independence. She tries to act like she's above love. But underneath the coldness is a woman who has been let down too many times to trust anyone again. And here's the tragic part. No matter how good you are, she will view you through the lens of every man who hurt her. You're not building something new. You're fighting ghosts you didn't create. And no amount of your loyalty can revive a heart that's been shutting down for years. 8. She's always healing, but never actually heals. This is the final and the most revealing sign. A woman who has been with many men often lives in a state of permanent healing. Every few months, it's the same cycle. New man, new heartbreak, new quote about self-love, new promise to focus on herself. But behind the mask of empowerment lies the truth she refuses to face. She's not healing, she's resetting the cycle. She heals just enough to feel ready for the next connection, the next rush, the next distraction, the next emotional high. Stillness terrifies her. Silence exposes her. Solitude forces her to confront the truth. She's given away so much of herself to so many people that she no longer knows who she is without male energy. So instead of rebuilding her soul, she collects experiences, temporary comfort, temporary validation, temporary affection, and she mistakes this repetition for recovery. But you can't heal when you never stop the bleeding. And here's the brutal reality. You cannot save a woman who refuses to face her own pain. You cannot build peace with someone who only feels alive in chaos. She's not evil. She's exhausted. But her exhaustion will drain you long before she ever finds herself. Because once a woman becomes emotionally numb, emotionally detached, emotionally conditioned for temporary, she stops loving. She starts surviving. And if you're not careful, you become just another chapter in a long book of unfinished stories.